It's the Terry Sullivan Show. And now, Terry Sullivan.
Man, I love that stuff. Hey, come over here. I want to talk to you.
Who, me?
Yeah. We have some things to discuss. Most of them are things that Joan wanted me to find out. Let's talk about music.
I know nothing.
That was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, I got all kinds of old guy references.
Oh,
you know?
man, I love that show.
Like the one, I'm not going to give away any stories here, right? I'm not going to be Laura Petrie. Remember when they got her to, Alan Brady's really bald, and they got her to say that, you know? No, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite old sitcom?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I had a lot of them.
Andy Griffith's mine.
Andy Griffith was awesome. I love the Honeymooners.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I loved anything.
Pow, boom!
Alice. I loved anything that was shot live.
Yeah.
You know, just because all the imperfections, all the warts were in it.
Yeah.
Carol Burnett show.
Yeah. Oh,
I loved the Carol Burnett show because Tim Conway would just break everybody up.
Yeah.
You know, and they just couldn't. They couldn't get through the scene. You know?
I just look at Tim Conway and laugh. You know, some people just have that demeanor where you just look at him and laugh.
Oh yeah.
He was that way to me.
Yeah. No, he's greatly missed. You know,
Yeah.
it's just.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you today, Rich,
Yes.
because you've had an interesting life, and it's all centered around music.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah.
40 years.
plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and obviously, like everything else, lots of things changed in 40 years musically
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
when you started, you were how old?
I was about 13 or 14 when I first started. Yeah.
Did you were you naturally? I mean, you're so gifted with a guitar.
No,
Did you
I was not. No. My how it all got started. I'll try not to drag this out, but my dad, his barber, had a old electric guitar that he wanted to sell, and a little amplifier. And my dad said, "Son, if I brought this guitar home, would you play it?" And I said, "No." I wasn't interested in it at all.
Yeah.
I was into art. I like to draw,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I was an artist, and you know, I like to draw things. And I was like, no. Well, he bought it anyway. So, and no, I didn't. It was hard. It was hard. My fingers bled, you know, because you form these calluses. You know, just as a farmer forms calluses here, you form calluses here on your fingertips, and they bled and cried. And
Did he make you play it, or
no?
No.
So, I just took to it eventually. I didn't take to it right away, but I just, you know, it was laying there.
Well,
so.
but did you figure out at one point, hey, I'm pretty good at this? What age were you where you went, you know, I'm pretty good at this?
Well, after about 6 or 7 months, I picked up a bass also. I bought a bass guitar from the music shop and started playing bass. Yeah, this is cool. And then maybe 2 months after that, I played in my first bar. The bass was bigger than me.
Yeah, right.
It was like this. I was a very small kid.
Yeah.
You know, I was 4'10".
Yeah.
In 7th grade.
Wait, you played with other people in a bar, or what did you?
Yeah, my brother played drums.
Yeah.
And then his buddy, Kenny Dupree was a guitar player.
Yeah.
And we played old rock and roll. We played Zeppelin. And,
Yeah.
See, my voice hadn't changed yet, so it was great. I could sing all that high stuff. You know? I could do all that. But yeah, I was around 14.
So at what point did you realize that you could sing as well? You know, Rich, you have your voice is so unique. First of all, you have a broad range. I mean, it's got 2.5, 3 octave range you've got, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know how they measure those octaves. I'm not even sure.
But you, I mean, but it's a it's,
I'm not even sure.
It's a, I don't know. I just love your voice.
Oh, well, thank you. I actually didn't start singing till I was about 21. When I was playing in the bars, I was just like screaming. I mean, I didn't do like, Kenny did all the singing. And we did this song called The Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. And there was this screaming in it. So I did the scream part. So I actually didn't start singing till I was about 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that kind of came out of necessity,
Yeah.
I think. At that point, and I could be wrong on the timeline, my brother might, if he sees this, he might be going, no, that's not right. But yeah, I was probably around 21. We were trying to find a singer for the band, and we couldn't find one. And my brother said, well, why don't you've done some background stuff, why don't you try, you know? So that's kind of how it came about.
And off you went.
Yeah. Yeah, I just took off from there.
Rich, you have played in some, name some people that you have played with, some well-known people that you've played with.
Well, I mean, the most well-known is Chris Young, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, more diehard country fans would know Chad Brock. They would remember the Nashville Star show on the USA Network, which that was the country equivalent of American Idol.
Yeah.
And Miranda Lambert came from Nashville Star.
Mm-hmm.
She was on that show, and that's the first time I met her. She was a kid. She was like 17.
Well, Chris was a kid when you played.
Chris Young, yeah, he was.
Did you ever
He
go?
was 20 years old when I played for him.
When you played with for him or with him, did you ever go, this guy's not going anywhere?
Yeah, but the reason I did that was not because of his talent. He was incredible. It's just, there's a lot. I mean, I've been very fortunate to work with guys who just are wonderful singers. You know, great singers, performers. Yeah. Chad Brock's got an amazing voice.
Yeah, you're fixing to go on tour with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing a thing in Boise this week. It's the reopening of Cowgirls.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a bar in Boise, Idaho. But he's a wonderful singer, just great. And Buddy Jewell's amazing. You know, Chris is amazing.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, their careers just don't take off for whatever reason. You know, Chad had great songs, and I don't know why his career didn't take off more than it could have.
But that's the business, right? I mean,
yeah, it is.
There are some incredible musicians that they just never take off.
Yeah.
And then there are some that take off that you go, well, what the hell?
And great segue. I was wrong about Chris, but and I'm happy for him. He's worked so hard. Yeah. And he's sustained a great career. You know? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy for him.
Yeah. But why is that? I mean, what makes, sometimes I've heard some people say it just takes one song.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, one song makes you.
Well, Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart.
Yeah.
But you don't hear the backstory of it. You don't hear that, Billy was from Kentucky, and he played with his band Sly Dog on the weekends, and then at the end of the weekend, like on Sunday, he would drive to Nashville, and on Monday he would be knocking on doors.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so he worked his tail off to get that one song. You know? And fortunately for him, he's had a very, very good career, and he's went on to be a really good actor.
Yeah.
I loved his show, Doc. I thought he was great in Doc. And,
What's your favorite band? Not singer, band.
Probably Led Zeppelin, from a rock standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Led Zeppelin. Country band, Restless Heart, probably, because they're a band.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a lot of favorite singers.
Yeah.
You know, Keith Whitley was probably my favorite country singer of all time. Like all my favorite singers are gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Joe Diffie was a friend of mine, and it was hard to lose him. We lost him to COVID.
Yeah. Rich, let me ask you a question. What makes a band like the Eagles? What makes them so incredible?
Incredible talent. Just what each person brings to the table. You know, and don't get me to name names because I can't remember anything. My wife will be the first to tell you that. I mean, Don Henley's.
How hard is it?
I love Joe. You know, Joe Walsh brings a different thing that if one of those guys is missing, it's just not the same. Like Glenn, Glenn is gone.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Right.
No
matter how great it still is, it's not the same.
Yeah, Vince Gill has come in and kind of stepped. I mean, he's not stepped in for it, but he's done some shows with the Eagles and done a lot of Glenn's stuff and Glenn's son also, I think. But man, it's just not the same.
How hard is it for bands to stay together long term? When you're dealing with egos, I mean, these guys, they have huge egos.
I guess it just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Some bands, they just have a working relationship, but they don't hang out with one another.
Yeah.
You know, and that probably helps to sustain it. From what I understand, Hall & Oates, they don't hate each other or anything, but they just kind of have a working relationship.
Yeah.
You know, they know that they need each other.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't, hang around a lot when the lights are off.
Yeah. What do you like most about performing? Do you like being the front man? Because you're an incredible front man.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a star. That's why I went to Nashville.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a star, but I didn't go knocking on doors like Billy. I had everything set.
Mm-hmm.
I had financial backing, put me in an apartment. I had a management company that signed me as a developing artist.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Campbell Management, owned by the man himself, Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
And Glenn was awesome. What an amazing player.
Yeah.
But he would just he'd walk in the room, and if there was guitars in there, he'd just pick it up and start playing it.
Yeah.
And he'd say, "Rich, here's a song I did in 1968." And he just playing. I mean, he was incredible. But
yeah.
So I had my team. I had everything.
Yeah.
So I was just. It wasn't like, am I going to be a star? It's when.
Yeah.
And didn't happen.
Let me ask you this. Well, let me ask it in this way.
Sure.
I saw a documentary on the Eagles. I taught Eagles, one of my favorite groups.
Love the Eagles.
So, what's the bass player's name?
Oh man, you gonna do this to me?
Come on. You old, but you're not that old.
I don't remember who's who.
Okay. Anyway,
Randy Meisner. I don't know if he's the bass player or not. So
Trey, who's the bass player for
Forgive
Eagles?
me, Eagles fans. Forgive me, Eagles fans. I love the Eagles, I do, but.
Okay, it don't matter.
But I can't remember, and he can't remember either.
Hey, I'm just testing everybody. I got it. So
we can't remember anything.
But they were doing their Australia tour. At that time, it was going to be their last tour, final tour, or whatever. And they were interviewing him, and they said, "What's the difference between touring now and touring 30 years ago?" And his answer was this. He said, "Well, 30 years ago was all about drugs and women. Today it's about getting a good book and sitting in the bathtub after a show and relaxing." How true is that?
Again, I think it depends on the band, the artist. Have you heard of the band called Rush?
Yeah.
From Canada? Those guys were doing that back then.
Yeah.
They were reading a good book
Yeah.
and keeping to themselves in the hotel room. And then there were bands like Kiss that
Yeah.
were, breaking all the rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it just depends
Yeah.
on the situation.
What's different for you today? What's different for you today than, I mean, you've been doing this 40 plus years, but let's say, what's different for you today than 20 years ago, as far as the stage?
Well, the level. I mean, I'm not doing national tours and things like that, but
Is that hard?
it's, well, when you're young, yeah. Are you saying, is it hard being out there? Is that what you're asking?
Night after
Yes.
night after night.
Yes. No, it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
I thought you meant, is it hard, like, not to be doing it anymore?
No, on a tour.
No, it's extremely hard. You don't know where you are.
Well, that's me every day. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not even sure who I'm talking to right now.
yeah, but
it's interesting.
But let's put you on a bus and then drive all night and then go, okay, where are you? So most tour buses have a calendar on the wall. That's how you know where you are. So I would get up. I was one of the earlier risers, which, if you want to say 9 a.m. is early, because most guys are sleeping past that.
Yeah.
I would get up and I'd go look at the calendar. Say, oh, we're in Michigan. Okay. Because you're only going to be there usually one day.
Yeah.
And then the next night, you're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going somewhere else.
What's the longest tour you've ever been on? How many
Whenever we
shows?
would go out west. When we go out west from Nashville, that's a long haul. So you make it worth the trip out there.
Yeah.
So you hit every place in California, every place in Nevada, every place, all up in the Northwest.
What's the easiest city to play in?
The easiest city to play in? To be honest with you, when you're at that level, it's all kind of the same.
Okay.
It's all kind of the same. Everything's provided for you. If you're at a certain level, you don't even touch your gear. You have a guy that sets it up for you.
Yeah.
You just walk out there. He's already tuned your guitar and stuff. Now, I was a bass player on all these.
Yeah.
All these tours that I went on. And I played some guitar and stuff on radio shows and whatnot. But yeah, it's all kind of the same, really. It's a higher level.
How do you push through when you're sick? How do artists push through when they're sick and their chords are struggling?
You just do it.
I mean, is there medicine?
Sometimes it's so bad that the artist may do a makeup show. For people who bought tickets and stuff. So okay, I'll come back and do a makeup show for free. If their voice is just terrible. Fortunately for me, my experience, we never had that problem. I don't think Chad's voice was always great. Buddy's voice was always great.
Yeah.
Chris was always great.
Leather lungs.
Yeah. These just never had a situation where I know one time Buddy went on vocal rest. So I think his vocal coach told him he needs to go on vocal rest. But all that meant was that he had this little sign that he wore that said, I'm on vocal rest. So like
so he wouldn't talk.
So he wouldn't talk. And that was to help him remember as well. Like, hey, you're not supposed to be talking. And
What's the one thing that a musician, that a vocal doesn't want to hear a doctor say? Is it you got nodules?
Yeah. Yeah, nodes. Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to hear that because then surgery's required, and that could be a problem.
Never know how that's going to work.
Never know how it's going to work out. Our good friend, Terry Verigi, the man up here.
Yeah.
He's going through that, and
it's a long road back.
Prayers
isn't it?
out to him. Yeah, because he was great, great voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We grew up together, and
great musician.
Yeah, great player. Can play anything. Put in his hand, he can play it.
Yeah.
He'll learn it. He'll learn it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Faith Hill might have had that surgery done.
Yeah.
But it worked out for her.
Yeah. How hard is it? And I know it's hard, so this is kind of a long shot question.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it on a marriage if you're a professional musician?
Extremely hard. Extremely hard. Because you're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone. I mean, but that would be any job that you're gone all the time. But I mean, I was gone like 250 days a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Or close to 300.
A little bit different though when you're a star, you're on stage, women, you're having to filter through all of that. Difficult.
Yeah, I mean it's tough on a family. It's tough on a family. I don't miss it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't miss it at all.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Here's $1 million question.
Yes.
If regardless, if somebody said, Rich, we need you to go on a national tour with so and so, big name band, would you go? I mean, would you even have to think about it?
Well, of course I would think about it. I probably wouldn't, but it depends on what they were offering me.
Yeah.
If it was going to be worth it.
Yeah.
I'd have to talk to my wife about it.
Yeah.
See how she felt about it.
No, she'd probably have to talk to you about it. I know that woman. And by the way, she is a great lady.
I know.
You're fortunate to have Joan, and
I know. Yeah, I know.
Great family.
I don't deserve her.
That's what she said.
I'm just, I'm very blessed.
Yes.
God was just showing off when he let me meet her. So,
yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? I mean, are you just kind of in neutral mode now? Because you're at the place where you do what you want to do.
I'm not looking to do anything nationally or anything like that. Chad Brock, he called me a few months back and said, hey, I'm starting to do some things here and there, and I don't know how much he's going to do. I doubt he's going to hit the road hard or anything, I don't know how, Chad's older than me, but not much. Like he's like maybe 59 or 60.
Yeah.
So he said, would you want to do a show with me? I said, yeah, man. I mean, I haven't seen Chad in 20 years almost.
He's a great artist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, he had that big hit called Yes.
Yes. Yes, he did. And his good friend, Cletus T. Judd, wrote a parody to that song called Half. All
right, we got to move out here pretty quick, but I have to ask you this.
Yes.
And it's probably hard for you to nail it down with a 40-plus year career. But what's one of the funniest things that's ever happened on stage to you?
Gosh, Terry, I'm terrible at these things. I'm terrible. For one thing, a lot of those brain cells are gone. Like when I reach back, when I'm trying to find that memory, there's a guy with a hard hat on just going, yeah, this whole section is blocked off. You're gonna have to go around. So, God, what's a funny moment? What's a funny moment?
Do you ever have anybody fall off stage? Drunk, fall off stage?
I almost fell off stage. I was not drunk. Stage was slick. And I was playing the bass, and some artists would give me a bass solo, which thought was ridiculous. But they would feature me and give me a bass solo, and I was walking up there playing, and whoop, and I landed flat on my back. And I
Did
just
you keep playing?
I kept playing, like, and the crowd was like, yeah!
They thought you were supposed
Oh
to do
yeah,
that.
thousands of people were screaming and cheering because they thought, man, that's the coolest thing ever. And no, I just, completely slipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's probably the funniest moment I can think of.
Yeah. Regrets. One regret, if you had it to do all over.
I really don't have any regrets. I'm thankful that I made it out.
Yeah.
I'm thankful I didn't die.
Yeah.
Had some friends who did.
Yeah.
Thankful I didn't go through divorce. Had some friends who did.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that that I got to watch my kids grow up in person and not in Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for a lot of those things. I mean, that's.
You have a great family. You did it right.
I do. God knew. He knew the right decision for me. He knew the right plan for me.
He just knew you weren't smart enough to make them.
Well, I mean, there's no telling what would have happened to me if I would have stayed out there.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't. So there's no regrets there about not making it as a star or not, finding another national tour to go on. And
yeah. You've had a great career. You're a great player, still a great player, great singer. I appreciate you being here in the absence of Terry V. And,
thank you, sir.
Stepping
Love
in.
you, Terry.
By the way, Trey, tell Terry he's out, Rich is in. That's the only way I know to do it. Might as well just say it on the air. Anyway, thanks for coming out. I know you guys are buddies.
Very funny.
Very funny.
That's
but
good.
now you have to
you
have to go over there and strap up and close us out of here.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Careful
right.
now.
Now that I can do.
Careful. Do something over there.
Now that I can do.
Bring it down.
Bring it down, he
Don't
said.
make me come over there and do it myself.